The Chicago Bears reportedly made a huge offer to the Seattle Seahawks for Russell Wilson. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL, and here to talk about this very news report about the Bears and the Seahawks and the trade involving Russell Wilson. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. If you have not hit the bell icon, do so right now, folks. That is the best way to know when I post a video, and I do so very often. And make sure you are following me on all my social media platforms. Let's get into it. All right, so I actually saw this today. Word leaked out, I guess, from multiple platforms that the actual offer for Russell Wilson and what the Bears actually offered the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, so this isn't coming from just one source. This is coming from multiple sources, and because it's coming from multiple places, I'm starting to believe that it actually, was probably the offer. So the offer that the Bears had for Russell Wilson was the following. It was 3 first-round picks, because, again, you can't offer more than 3 according to the NFL rules, or else the Bears would have probably offered 5, 6. 3 first-round picks, 3, I believe, third-round picks, and 2 starting-level caliber players. Now, the 2 players were not named. I tried to look for them. Were not named. Maybe one of them might have been Kyle Fuller just because the Seahawks just lost Shaquille Griffin. But, again, can't confirm that. So that's the offer. And essentially what happened is Ryan Pace and John Schneider talked, and this was the offer that was made. Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy and I guess the Bears front office made a huge push for Russell Wilson. They gave this offer, and basically at the end, it felt like there was a verbal agreement, maybe a handshake agreement, that this would actually go down. And then Pete Carroll was consulted about this from the Seahawks, and he basically nixed the deal. He said, no, I'm not trading Russ. They got cold feet. They said basically Pete's 70 or whatever his age is, and he doesn't want to rebuild, and so they're going to keep Russ. All right, so that's essentially what ended up happening. So I have a lot of thoughts about that, but wanted to get the trade offer to you guys, okay? And then one other interesting tidbit, by the way. I believe this was Adam Schefter who said this. He said that this was the offer, but also the fact is, just because they said no now does not mean Russell Wilson can't still get traded later. So, again, there was a no from the Seahawks now. All right? That's what the expectation is that the Bears got. So, right after the Bears got word from the Seahawks that they weren't doing the deal, that's when Ryan Pace went about and signed Andy Dalton like an idiot, because that was an awful move. We all know it. And that's where we're at right now. Okay, so like I mentioned, a couple thoughts on this, all right? As far as the offer itself, the offer sounds fine. Again, if it would have been 3 second-round picks to entice the Seahawks more, I would have done that. I was literally ready to part with every single player on the Chicago Bears for Russell Wilson. Literally, you could take anybody. You could take literally Khalil Mack, Roquan, anybody I was okay with to get Russell Wilson. Let's just get him. Now, as far as the Seahawks saying no, this was obviously always a possibility, right? And I still feel like the tension's there, and it's not going away anytime soon. And I promise you, if Russell Wilson was a free agent this summer, I don't think he would have re-signed with the Seahawks. He is under contract, so obviously probably just obliging by that. And Russell Wilson's too classy of a guy to go to the Deshaun Watson route. I told you guys that, okay? So as far as the Bears being aggressive, I'm happy that they were. I'm happy that they went all in. And if this was the offer, the best offer the Bears could do, again, maybe they could have offered more second-round picks instead of third-round picks. I am okay with that, all right? At least they tried. But here's the thing. The problem with this was you went ahead and signed Andy Dalton. I don't know why that move needed to happen. I'm totally okay with waiting. I told you guys this. I'm totally okay with waiting. And like I mentioned, with Adam Schefter saying, just because they said no now, doesn't mean they'll say no later. Deshaun Watson still hasn't been traded. The Houston Texans could, trade him later and take some time. So I'm okay with waiting. And that was my biggest issue here, is why are the Bears not waiting? We're not losing out on anything. Signing Andy Dalton is a waste of $10 million when you already have Nick Foles. And if Andy Dalton is going to be the starting quarterback for Chicago Bears week 1, well, Ryan Pace, take the first flight out of Chicago. Do it. because you're not coming back. So to me, that part makes no sense. Here's what I would do if I was the Chicago Bears. All right. Well, before I wouldn't have signed Andy Dalton, but if I'm basically the Bears GM, if I'm Ryan Pace, and then I get this no answer right from John Schneider and the Seahawks, then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's wait it out. All right. Let's get to around draft time. Let's see how the situation is. I wouldn't sign any of these trash, garbage, free agent quarterbacks. And basically what I would do is I would try to check what the market is for these other guys out there, right? Like a Sam Darnold, a Gardner Minshew, a Teddy Bridgewater, a Mariota. Okay, what's the asking price? Can we get somebody for the cheap? Can I get Gardner Minshew for maybe like a fifth? Can I get like a Sam Darnold for like a fourth? If it's like second round or something like that, no, obviously not. But just check the prices, all right? And then around draft time, this is where you see, okay, obviously, let's see who's available. The top quarterbacks might get taken before the Bears pick at 20. But once the draft comes, I believe the pressure ratchets up for the Seahawks and the Texans. Because at that point, these teams that don't have a quarterback, they're about to draft one. Or they potentially could. So that's less suitors for you now. All right. And once that happens, the options dry up for them if they do decide to trade him. And here's the other thing too. Team like the Jets, right? They draft Zach Wilson. Okay, now they need to trade Sam Darnold. And so they're desperate. And so the asking price lowers. Maybe before they were asking for a third round pick. Now they'll say, we'll trade him for a fourth or a fifth. So wait it out. There's nothing wrong with waiting. You are not losing out on anything. So that's the part where I don't understand why they rushed to sign Andy Dalton. I think that was a boneheaded move. So to me, I'm happy that, we're trying. They tried for the Russell Wilson trade. They better be trying for the Deshaun Watson trade. But there is a clear need to exhaust every single option with these two trade offers, with Deshaun and with Russell. And waiting would have been the right move to me instead of rushing to sign Andy freaking Dalton, a.k.a. the Red Rifle. He shouldn't even call the Red Rifle. He's a beige water pistol, all right? That's how bad Andy Dalton is right now. So to me, that was the boneheaded move by Pace. Hopefully, this doesn't take us out of the Russ and Deshaun talks. It's a long summer, so I think it will still happen where in terms of talks being revisited, it's going to be really crazy around draft time, so let's see what happens here. But I'm just disgusted with the Andy Dalton move. So I'll leave it there. What do you guys think about this? The Bears making the offer for us. Again, I love that they tried, and we got to give them that. But they need to continue to push at it. Keep nagging the Seahawks. Keep nagging the Texans. And wait till draft time because teams will get desperate. Prices will lower. It's a negotiation ploy. Wait. We got to stay patient. Let's see what happens. And as always, thanks for watching.